Good morning, and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View. Yesterday, something special happened. Yes, it was a fantastic day for the channel. It was a fantastic day for the channel, and I did ask for 750 thumbs up. But I'm not going to tell you what they got. It surpassed that. So once you've watched this video, go back and check out that video again just to see what the thumbs up were. Anyway, make sure you give the video a thumbs up today to see if you can hit 1,000 thumbs up in today's video. Because I thought, first of all, that before we listen to the meltdowns getting a bit more calmer. I think we've broken them. But I wanted to go and check on the weather at Ibrox just before I checked in on them.
That the skies darkened, the trees bent in the wind, the heavens opened, and it rained for 40 days and 40 nights. So much for the summer.
That's the weather coming straight out of Ibrox last night. It was quite funny, I thought, but maybe it wasn't. But anyway, let's listen to the latest meltdown, because I think that we've broken them. I think, they're finally broken. Since the team broke in 2012, I think we've now broken them.
I'm not saying is it to be expected, but can it be understandable, the frustration that we're seeing? It's not understandable and it's not acceptable to go.
Hold a minute. This guy's wearing the Scotland rugby top. I thought they were all Union Jack wearers and it's a rugby top.
And spit on stuff or to shout and swear at players.
Give him that huck too and spit on that thing.
In my opinion, right? But the reaction that we're seeing from supporters, is that to be expected after, like I said this morning, one league title, one cup, one League Cup, one Scottish Cup, I think that's right, in 15 years or 14 years.
That's all right for a new...
Supposed...
Wait a minute, that's all right for a new club, mate. That's all right. Some new clubs never even get that. Do you know what I mean? So don't knock it.
Rebuild that's supposed to be happening.
Rebuild. It's the first rebuild of the day.
Can't really see a style of play under the manager. Players not giving 100%.
Wait a minute. Has anybody else noticed, or is it just me? Before and towards the end of the last season, it was all Big Phil, Big Phil, Big Phil. This season, it's either the management or Clement. They've changed their tune to the manager.
Year after year after year of failure. Surely the frustration is going to spill over at some point.
I think I said in the group chat yesterday, boys, this is the tipping point now for a lot of fans. They've taken a lot over the last few years, and this is almost like the straw that's broke the camel's back. They've just simply had enough. To understand the first.
They've simply had enough. So it's now if you're simply the best, they simply had enough. Dun, 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 dun. Simply had enough because their team is shite.
Frustration, absolutely. As you said, Rolf, everybody's frustrated, everybody's annoyed, everybody's scunnered, but there's ways and means of going about things. Going about and spitting on things is just ridiculous. Just frankly.
Wait a minute, it's because he watched the tall girl, innit? You need to spit on that motherfucker.
Disgusting. But I totally get people's frustrations.
It was trying to go viral. It was nothing to do with Rangers. It was huck toe, motherfucker.
Whether the board didn't know what everybody felt before the game, they certainly know now. And the problem is that they had all summer. They knew what they had to do this summer. They knew the positions they had to get. They allegedly, this rebuild that they were saying,
rebuild number 2, or is it 3? Rebuild again though.
Best in class and all this stuff. They knew what positions needed filled. Yet in the transfer window, we leave it till the last day, basically. And it is frustration from fans because we've been.
I just noticed an interesting comment. Prolonged fasting turns your mind. Fasting from what? Trophies.
Sort of told so many false dawns that this is going to be the change that's going to make us better, and we're going to start competing better. And I think as a lot of people have said, we've seen this movie before where we start okay and then fall apart pretty much at the seams, and it just implodes. I mean,
we need to watch after them. So if you do work with any Sevconians today, take them to one side and say, It's okay not to be okay, my friend. We're here for you as a human being. You zombie man.
It's all very well saying you started for the first 5-10 minutes, great. There's another 80 minutes to go. There's another 80 minutes in the game. There's no point saying you started great and then you lose 3-0. It's just pointless.
But wait a minute. If you look at the stats, Graham Soon has said, look at the stats, look at the stats, look at the stats.
It's the manner. I think there's a game that's probably frustrated a lot of people. Nobody minds losing.
What? Nobody minds losing. Did he actually just say that when it comes to a derby game?
There's another 80 minutes in the game. There's no point saying you started great and then you lose 3-0. It's just pointless. And it's the manner. I think there's a game that's probably frustrated a lot of people. Nobody minds losing if folk are,
What? What? I wouldn't be going on to social. If we had lost the game, I wouldn't have been on social media for days.
Putting a bit of effort.
Never mind venting my anger on YouTube and stuff. I just nah, sack it.
Running around, at least running around, not jogging around, trying to make tackles, trying to at least make it look as though that you're putting in a little bit of effort. I think it's the manner of the loss. As I've said before, sport's a game. Any sport is, at least if you see some effort and at least you see some desire, you don't mind that. But
there's one guy sitting on this podcast, and I think he's totally bemused. I think he thinks he's done a rugby chat by pure accident. He's sitting in the corner and he's like, I have fucking no idea what's going on here, man. This cunt's got a rugby tap on, and this guy's talking about all different kinds of sports and talking about losing. I want to kill him. I'm going to put my stabber now, man, and just do this geezer.
Yesterday was very much the opposite of that. It was static, it was pedestrian, it was everything we don't expect from a Rangers team, certainly going to Parkhead. And
wait a minute, you just said it's all right to lose because you've done it that many times. You just thought it was expected.
That's frustrations just spill over, I'm afraid, and I totally get everybody's frustrations, but there's ways and means of going about it. And when you're so frustrated and you're so candescent with rage,
he sounds it, doesn't he? Rage is spelling out this one. It's like we've broken them. If this is him in a rage, I think we've definitely broken them.
You do things you probably wouldn't normally do if you were thinking a little bit straighter. But
there's a comment just come up the screen. The worst thing about yesterday, Celtic had other gears. They could go up, and we never even tested them.
It's just a build-up of frustration over so many years.
It is. Robert, when I asked that question to Brian, you kind of had, I don't know if it was a look of disagreement on your face or it was a look of questioning, but I'll let you jump in on that point.
Listen, we can all just part the spitting, right? Everyone in this, the podcast, the comments, no one's going to condone spitting. I dare say the guy that's even done it, or person who even done it, is no condoning it when looking back. I think it's maybe a silly mistake. However, the shout
Wait a minute here. Here he goes. He's going to try to justify this.
And swearing, I think it's within the realms. If you were at the game and you're in the stand, we're all shouting and swearing at the players for 90 minutes sometimes. So I don't see the difference as long as there's no.
And I can booze as well. You got to remember, booze. You're shouting and swearing at the players, and the fucking boo.
No violence or no threat to violence, physical violence. That being, then I don't understand the qualm with it. I get Will's point saying, if he went to his work, he wouldn't expect that kind of vitriol. But football's different. It's a different animal. It's a whole different industry. So I just think that it comes part and parcel with it. The players,
No, it doesn't.
Levels will be getting some sort of feedback from the fans, whether it's positive or negative. You've got to take that off with a smooth. Interesting to see what Brian's saying there's other ways to go about it. I'd love to hear those, because at the minute, the board are ripping the proverbial right out of it. I would say there's no sort of European package out next week. I'm sure they'll be asking for top dollar there. There's nothing coming back. There's no transparency. You've got the manager saying some really strange things. That.
Now this guy's got the rage on, isn't he? He's got the full-on rage. He is raging. We've not killed this one off yet. The other guy, he was too placid when he's like, I'm done, man. I'm just done. But this guy, he's still he must be a union bear, this one.
match. I could rip it to pieces, and I'm sure we'll get to it. Just really strange. That doesn't help matters. So yeah, I think what was said to Tavernier, I would take issue with the players. John Suter looks absolutely relieved that he's not getting it. No one's actually sticking up for their captain.
Exactly.
I think there's a real soft underbelly to this squad that we've seen time and time again. They've ripped the heart out of it, and it's changed nothing because the other players that are there have got the same mentality. Whether it's John Suter, I think the only one that was Nico Raskin who maybe sort of stepped forward. No, it's a sad state of affairs, and Celtic when they lost to 10, their fans, albeit we say this is not befitting of Rangers, and I get that, I take that point on board. But how do you get change if you don't revolt and don't show that you're unhappy? You just sit in your hands. What do you do?
Robert, as Brian says,
What?
there's ways to do it, right?
What?
Now,
What are those?
What?
well, I'm coming to that, right? But the thing that got me about those videos after the game, right? It was getting personal towards Tav, right? Now, okay, Tav's been an absolute bomb scare. I don't think he even is still expected to be here.
Hold the buzz. This is the guy that's in the Hall of Fame at Ibrox. He's a legend, seemingly. He's up there with Ali McCoist and I don't know any other Rangers legends. And Ali McCoist, is he even a legend? No, not really, is he? Nah, gone.
We were talking about before we came on air, before we came live, right? But it was starting to get personal. There's no need to do that. You're right, on the terrace and the stand, we all scream abuse at players. That's fine. That's part of the course. That's what you do. It's different in the street. For me, Rangers made a huge glaring error yesterday, right?
Yeah, they turned up.
Publicly putting the players back to Ibrox after screening the game at Edmiston House. Because the main guys who were there for 3 or 4 hours, on the drink, coming out, seeing the players and having a go at them. That's on the club.
Oh, on the Swally. On the Swally. There's a bus, man. There's a bus. What do you mean? There's the fucking bus.
To me, that's on Rangers. They should have put them in through a Gale House reception or something like that, so that the guys coming out of Edmonton House couldn't see them. Right?
Take them in the back door.
Huck to and spit on that thing.
Oh no, that'll get cut, won't it?
I mean, that to me, I don't know what the answer. I don't know what the answer is. People say, "What do you do?" Right? There is going to be protests. There's going to be. I mean, we get back to Ibrox. There's going to be big protests. You won't be able to move on Edmonton Drive for people.
Mate, there was about 12 people.
Before it'll happen again. If that's the way people
remember that time that they protested at Hampden, at an empty Hampden on a Saturday afternoon when there was nobody there, nobody in the building at all. It was closed. Yep, it was closed, shut down. Everybody was away for the weekend, and they protested at an empty building. They know how to protest, eh?
People deem to do it. That's fine, but I don't see why it can't be personal towards individual players. Because
wait a minute, it can't be personal to the individual players. You just said it's personal to the individual players when they're standing when you're on the terrace for 90 minutes. But then when you get back and you want to protest, it can't be personal to the individual players. Yeah, chuckster.
Okay, Tav was bad yesterday. They were all bad yesterday. Why single out Avenue? He's not a great season, but they've not. A lot of them haven't had great seasons. You know what I mean?
We're 4 games in. 4 games in, and you're talking about not having a great season. It's 4 games. 4 games. 4 games. 4 games.
There's a thing floating about tonight about Tav starts against Celtic. They're horrific. Absolutely horrific, right?
And just Tavs. Have you ever won recently against Celtic? Well, mind you, Bill got that. Oh no, you got the moral 3-3 draw, didn't you? Yes, you got the moral 3-3 draw when you did the lap of honour and everything, and it was a moral victory. Your manager came out and said that. Remember, moral victory. And then Bill won a meaningless game, didn't he? Which meant he was going to go on and show Ange the way. He was going to Ange shat it and ran for Bill, and then in comes Brendan Rodgers and Bill shat it and ran for Brendan.
To me, he needs to go. He certainly needs rested for a few games, take the captaincy off and give it to somebody else.
Oh, wait a minute. You know what he'll say? Disappointed.
I just don't like the personal abuse at players. If you're going to go have a go at them all as a team, your point that nobody stuck up for him is right. There's something rotten about the club because nobody stuck up for the captain, right? The other thing I noticed on the I don't think a lot of people picked up on it watching the game, right? There was a point I think in the second half when one of their players was doing in the box, and Proper went to see he was all right, and not a single Rangers player went near him and said, "Leave him where he is." You remember Calvin Bassey did that? Was told within seconds, "Leave him where he is and get away. You don't do that here." Nobody went near Proper and told him. How's he supposed to know how we treat these fixtures if nobody's there telling him? Because
What about the guy that came on and blessed himself? Full on, big, huge blessing to it. Wasn't just a wee, it was a big full on. I need to try and get footage of that one.
there's no leadership. They've got this leadership group. Who's in it? Where is it? You know what I mean? There's no leadership. And it's so frustrating. It's just I don't know the answer on how to protest. There is going to be protest.
This guy is awfully confused. He's awfully confused. He's for a minute he's saying I was shouting, swear at them in the terraces, and then he said you've not to do it to individual players, of course. No, you can't do that, can you? And then he says he doesn't know how to protest. And they're all sitting looking bewildered. I'm going to take a screenshot of this one because it's actually comical. So we need to get their 4 coons. You remember that film Misery? The guy's tied up and she smashes his ankle so he can't get off the bed. That's what watching this is like, honestly.
Protest in the street. Hopefully we're not throwing sharks about like that other lot were. That's ridiculous, you know what I mean? But we're now, for me,
at least we know how to protest. So, if you're going to do it, you do it right.
We're now bearing the fruits of what happened 12 years ago, and we can't keep going back.
12 years ago. He's got it right. He knows his dates. Not like that other chappie that said 14, remember? What happened 12 years ago, mate? Yeah, liquidation. Nah. Liquidation.
To what happened in 2012, right? But in the time
I don't think we are. I think we're bearing the fruits of what happened 3 or 4 years ago. Mistakes that were made.
They're going to start fighting amongst themselves.
In the last 12 years, they've been stockpiling money because they had a free pass into the Champions League, right? They've been stockpiling. See, when we were down the leagues, Celtic should have won every single domestic trophy in Scotland.
How should we? See when Rangers won their 9 in a row in the 90s. How many trebles did Rangers win when they were done their 9 in a row back then? I'm sure it was only one. And in those days, Celtic were in the doldrums. They had no money, right? Compared to them. So for saying that Celtic should have won every single trophy in Scotland, you're only saying that because Celtic have won so many trebles since the new Rangers came into the top league. Remember that Celtic only started winning their trebles when Rangers were in the top league. So that says more about the Sevco. It is the Rangers. But Celtic only started winning trebles when this lot were in the league. It's interesting, that, isn't it?
Should have, because we weren't there. They had no competition. You shouldn't have had St Johnstone winning 2.
We've not had competition yet.
Cups and Ross County winning a League Cup, and I think Aberdeen won a League Cup in that time. They shouldn't have had that. Celtic should have been winning absolutely everything, but they didn't.
But Rangers didn't win absolutely everything during their 9 in a row, and this guy's of an age where he would remember that 9 in a row during the 1990s. They're a strange mob, aren't they? They are a strange mob. Anyway, how long have we been going this morning? The thing is, I think I could actually make this one video. I could have actually made it into a mini series and just like record it all in one day and just put it out over the next 3 or 4 days since there's no football this weekend. But I'm going to wrap this video up here. I'm going to give the last word to Wolf, 1872, staunch as they get.
The fruits of what happened 12 years ago, and we can't keep going back to what happened in 2012, right?
Liquidation. Nah.
I don't think we are. I think we're bearing the fruits of what happened 3 or 4 years ago. Mistakes that were made. Back in 2012.
They're arguing about 2012 and how it's just what it was.
Slightly raucous, and it is, catching, them off guard when they're in public and telling them what they think you've done wrong. Because when else do you see them? You know, as Will said there, Bisgrove promised us a real connection between, you know, the club and the supporters, and this.
I've clarified that purely because I'm just. Well, it was bad enough going to the Champions League games a couple of years ago when we got scudded every game at Ibrox, and I just don't see anything different happening this time. Likes of
Right,
Spurs coming down.
All right, fair enough. On that then, right, and I'll put this to you, Brian. Bigger picture, where does the new investment come from? Where does the money come from that we need to try and bridge the gap? How do we
There we go. He's admitting there's a gap.
then bridge that gap if there's no
Two gaps.
investment? Or is it simply a case of we have to get lucky and get into the Champions League, or have a deep run in Europe, or find a couple of good free transfers that we can bring in and then flog for some money somehow? Is it going to have to be a stroke of luck, or are we going to somehow manage to get that investment?
No. If you made it to this end of the video, make sure that you give it a thumbs up. I thank you to watching the video for so long, and it just keeps on giving, doesn't it? I've got some work to go and do today, so I would have kept this going for like an hour or so. It's unbelievable. But let's just cut it out for today. Yeah, that's enough is enough. I think we've broken them finally. Tomorrow we'll get back to some Celtic news. Some Celtic news kicking around this morning. Yeah, not really much because the Celtic players are all having a couple of days off. Brendan Rodgers having a couple of days off. He has been on one of the talk shows already this morning, speaking to Ali McCoy, so I'll probably have to listen to that later on this afternoon once I finish work. And then anyway, on that note, have an absolutely fantastic day to all you Celtic fans all around the world.
Lit. Roll up to the party, roll up to the party, roll up to the